Today's adventure takes us to Yellowstone Park, where we meet up with my daughter and her family for my grandson's 6th birthday. The fall colors are out and it's a spectacular view, but we won't be meeting up with them till noon, so Kelly and I took a little tour around some of the waterfalls. That's from the top looking down. Spectacular view as the water rambles down. There are a number of viewpoints from upper and lower falls. Some involve hiking, some just looking over viewpoints, but whatever view you look at, it is spectacular. Even when you're at the top, just looking down. Here we are in the Grand Canyon at some waterfall. Kelly, Paul?
It's spectacular.
What do you have to say?
One heck of a chocolate brownie cookie made by Grandma's Cookie Company. We got 50 of them.
The Grand Canyon of Yellowstone and waterfalls. I always claim that there are 3 reasons you go to Yellowstone. One is the waterfalls, another is the wildlife, and then the thermal features. And it's a worthwhile trip for any one of those reasons. This is one of the stairways down to one of the waterfall viewing sites. Obviously, the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Hiking to the many overlooks is tiring, but as Kelly mentioned, he had 50 bags of those cookies, not to mention all the chips and other things that he brought for us to eat. And my daughter was bringing food as well, so we needed the hiking. But we were getting to the point where we needed to get to Old Faithful, where I'd be meeting my daughter, and you just never know how long it's going to take, because here we see buffalo, and of course we had to stop.
Oh, look at this one. Oh, wow.
Despite our delays from watching the buffalo, we made it to Old Faithful. Here I am with about 1,000 of my closest friends at Old Faithful.
That's Jerry narrating my video also.
We were able to meet up with my daughter and grandkids and all enjoy the sights of Old Faithful. Hiking around the boardwalk, Kelly, of course, was interested in worms, and my granddaughter, Kate, actually found one. And of course, the challenge was on. Will Kelly actually eat anything?
Get first. No.
What? You're licking a hornworm?
Now?
Okay.
It's not like I'm gonna go die of anything.
Let's see what you're eating first.
This is for Kate.
This is.
I'm not gonna chew it. I'm only gonna swallow it.
This is the reverse of the bad grandpa.
Oh no.
Kate's having Kelly eat a worm.
I can't. Oh, he did it. He did it. He's gone. I wonder what
Yep, he actually did it. And unlike Kate in the bad grandpa video, Kelly didn't even get a buck. But we made it to my favorite site down there, Morning Glory Pool. It's the end of the boardwalk in Old Faithful. And unfortunately, Jesse was feeling a little bad about losing that hornworm. But he got over it, and we enjoyed the other sites as we hiked back to the lodge and along the boardwalk, seeing the views at Old Faithful. Just spectacular. I have to throw another one of Morning Glory Pool. The various thermal features are spectacular, each one having their own charm. There's Jay, Holden, Dean. But everyone did a good job hiking around. We ate lunch, and then it was time to head back past West Yellowstone to where we were staying. A couple of the kids enjoyed a nap in the car. Passed some of the fall colors, and we made it to our tent. Yep, it's Jesse's birthday, so I guess my present to them is letting them sleep in a tent in freezing temperatures. The night before, Kelly and I in our tent had about frozen, but Dean doesn't look detoured. He can handle the cold. And of course, we would have the birthday to look forward to. That tent looks pretty good. There's the birthday boy and Kate.
All right, Jesse, this one is from Dean.
Open it!
Open it.
I can't handle it. I got it now.
All right.
A fishing lure.
Ooh!
Here.
Ooh, it's some good bait. Yep, good bait.
Good bait.
I got that one for you.
Not that crummy bait.
And I got you a wet boy raptor, yeah. Is this yours? Yeah. Not mine.
Here, Dean's opened up a couple
He gave
gifts
it to
here.
you. Wasn't that nice?
Dean gave him a Ford Raptor, fishing bait.
That's nice.
Jesse had a great birthday. Got lots of fishing gear, roller skates, and other presents. And here's what we're waiting for. Jay cooking us up some burgers and corn. Here's a few more photos. There's Dean and Danny in the background. The birthday boy, Jesse, looking at some of his presents. Danny taking videos and pictures. Why she's got her hand behind her head, I'm not quite sure, but that's apparently her style. She looks like she's not quite sure there either. But it was a fun little gathering. And once we finished opening presents, you can see he really went to them. But once we finished with the presents, then it was time to eat dinner. And besides the burgers and corn that Jay cooked up out there, we had potato salad and you name it, we had it. And it was good. And of course, once night fell, we went to our individual tents to rest up and get ready for tomorrow's activities. Back to Yellowstone. View of our tent. Kelly gave it 2 thumbs up as we head into Artist Paint Pots. And Kate was a good big sister, carrying Dean through much of the trail. Like that picture of Danny there, she observes, I guess, blood geyser. Just a number of little thermal features there. Love the boiling water, the steam venting out, and then the mud boiling. Dean enjoys the ride on his big sister's back, and she doesn't seem to mind as she is smiling. Jay and Danny, and me and my daughter. A view from up top looking out over the scenic Artist Paint Pots. You can see there's always a number of people there. Lots of pine trees. And Jesse's still smiling after his birthday and having a great time meeting Kelly, talking crawdads and fish aquariums they made a new buddy. But then we made it to Mammoth Hot Springs, me and Kate. That's the upper level looking out over the hot springs. Spectacular view. I remember seeing this over the years. There's Kelly taking a picture and how it's changed. That'd be Kate. And somewhere, there's got to be the rest of the group. Video, never sure that it does it justice, but this was down at the lower part. And what do we have but an elk strolling through Mammoth Hot Springs? Kind of cool to see. If you look, you'll see another one laying down at the right side over there. This elk stopped for a drink and then it wandered off. But to combine two of the features, thermal feature and wildlife in one video, it's just spectacular. After we were done at Mammoth, we would be heading out the northeast entrance gate, where we would be staying in Cook City at the Soda Butte Lodge. But just many spectacular sights to see here at Mammoth. And there's the group hiking along. This time Jay's carrying Dean. Believe it or not, he did walk quite a bit on his own. There he is. I think we had lunch there at Mammoth. Just more pictures of Mammoth with an elk. Just cool to see. Danny brought all the food for our lunch, and we always ate well. There's the elk actually drinking from the hot spring. I mean, it's spectacular enough to see without the elk, but that just added another element. Of course, I have to take a few selfies, so you know that I was actually there. Someone asked, which is more important, the destination or the journey? And of course, my response was the company. Just a pleasure to be able to spend time at such a cool destination and take this journey with family and friends, being with my daughter and grandkids, and I guess even the fact Kelly was along. He actually told me that he knew a couple jokes in sign language, and he assured me that no one had ever heard them. Hopefully you got that one. I'm not sure if Kelly will. But we had a great time in Mammoth. Just the beauty of the thermal features overlooking the town. And as you can tell, it was a little breezy. But eventually we made it back to our car. And Jesse had a new buddy in Kelly, and then we headed out through Lamar Valley, saw some antelope, and made it to Soda Butte Lodge. Fortunately, that first photo wasn't it. This is it. Nice little accommodations. Kelly and I beat Danny, Jay, and their family, so we went across the street, looked at the free little museum there and all the stuffed animals. Interesting to see that mountain lion was attacking me, and we got to see our first moose. Bobcat looks pretty worn, but it was a lot of fun. And then when they got there, we checked into our rooms and then took a drive up the Beartooth Highway to the summit that's almost 11,000 feet, looking for mountain goats. And what did we find of mountain goats. Just spectacular. I parked, jumped out of the car, chased after them, and they ran away. But got some pictures of them. And Alpine Lakes up there, just a spectacular sight. But we spent the night there in Cook City, and the next day got up early and drove through the Lamar Valley, and we saw that wolf. And then it turns out that it was only a coyote. But back to Mammoth, saw a number of elk just strolling around the town. Just spectacular to see. They loved that green grass there in town. And as we drove out of town, up on the ridge, you could see more elk. It had been raining basically the whole drive from Lamar Valley as we drove through Yellowstone. And now the rain looked like it was getting a little thicker, a little heavier. And before you knew it, it turned to snow. Being from Arizona, it's kind of cool to see the snow.
Everywhere you go. Whoa, a buffalo. Oh, sorry, Jared.
The snow continued to come down a little harder, and as you can see, it's starting to stick on the ground and stick on the trees. But that didn't deter us from stopping to still take pictures. There's a swan out on the river. Spectacular sight. Driving in snow, you can see it's not sticking on the road yet. That would soon change as it continued to come down harder.
Buffalo in a distance.
But just a unique experience to see a buffalo out there in the snowstorm. You see the buffalo? There it is. You don't get that in Phoenix, I'll tell you that. Just watching the snow come down, the thermal features.
Snow and a thermal.
All kind of a cool sight. I forgot to mention that Danny and Jay turned off to head out the east entrance while we were heading down south and out the south entrance. With the snow, it was just a unique opportunity to see Yellowstone like I don't typically see it. The view of a swan swimming on the river with the snow falling just really made it seem like winter. A lot of people said it looked like a Christmas card. And we were in it. There the swan had its head down, eating.
And that was Kelly.
And yeah, Kelly pops up every once in a while. But everywhere you look, just cool. There's the swan. Head down, head up. But the snow just continued. The buffalo, well, doesn't seem to bother them at all. They just keep trudging on through it. Tough to get a good picture as the camera focuses on all the blur ahead and everything's kind of blurred out. But just, I don't know, really enjoyed that snow. But after a while, after an hour or two, it's like, okay, it's starting to build up on the road, getting a lot of slush.
Taking a video?
I think we can do without any more snow. Though it is beautiful. Just didn't really want to have to drive a long way through the snow. But before you knew it, once we got out the south gate and heading toward the Tetons, the snow pretty much ended. We drove over the Continental Divide several times, and then we're out the south entrance. And as mentioned earlier, once we got into Teton National Park, there really wasn't much snow. Unfortunately, the clouds covered the mountains, so we couldn't see the Tetons. So we didn't get the spectacular views of the lake, but we still went to Mormon Row and saw the old houses. They even had an old outhouse. Barns, just intriguing to see. And that pink house you saw earlier, that was just a special thing that husband did for his wife, a labor of love to have that pink house. And this once vibrant community just doesn't really exist. And that's the famous barn that you usually see with the Tetons in the back. But with the clouds, you couldn't see that. Our Yellowstone trip was over, but we drove through Jackson Hole on south to Kemmerer, Wyoming, where we would do a fossil dig. So watch that. Have a good day.